Look at this kangaroo. Do you notice any speciality in this type of animal? Yes, it contains a pouch to carry their young ones. To take care their young ones, it has a pouch. Like this pouch having animals are called marsupial. Marsupial give birth to relatively small, tiny young ones, and these young ones will continue to grow in the mother's pouch. Mother kangaroo gives birth to a tiny, helpless child. The baby kangaroo is called Joey. 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 The newborn joys are just 1 inch long. That means 2.5 centimeters at birth, or about the size of a grape. And this small, tiny joy will grow from the pouch of the mother. It enters the pouch under the abdomen of the mother. The milk is pumped to its mouth. It grows there for months. Have you seen the kangaroos? Where does the small one grow? In mother's pouch. Can we discuss the differences between viviparous and oviparous animals? The first difference, which we already discussed, is viviparous animals are giving birth to young ones, and oviparous animals are laying eggs. The second difference here is, look at this elephant. Do you know this elephant belongs to ovi or viviparous? Yes, it will be viviparous animal. It give birth to young ones. Now you look at the large ears of elephant. That is external ear that we can see. Okay, so that type of external part of the ear is called pinna. 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 Or we can tell external ear. So external ear is present in viviparous animal. But in oviparous, the external ear is absent. Can you see any projected ear in this crow? No. It will be having a small hole, but we cannot see that ear. So we can tell pinna is absent, or external ears are absent. Now can we discuss the third difference? Look at this. Animals, viviparous and oviparous animals are separately placed here. Viviparous animals, their body is covered by hair. See, human being, we are also one of the viviparous animal. You look at your hand and all. Can you see small hairs are grown there? Now look at the dog, cow and all. Hairs are covering the body. Okay, that is the third difference. Now you look at the oviparous animals. Instead of hair, what is present there? Feathers. Feathers are covering the body. Oh, hen you can see feather. Ostrich also you can see feather. But crocodile, there is no feather. Instead of feather, scales are there. You know that fishes are covered by round tiny scales. Okay, scales are covering the oviparous. So oviparous animals, their body is covered by feathers or scales. Look at this fish. Can you see scales there? Okay, these are scales which is covering the body. So this fish belongs to oviparous. Its body is covered by scale. And birds are belongs to oviparous. Its body is covered by feather. Now look at this deer. Deer is a viviparous animal. Now can you give reasons for this statement? What are the reasons you can give? Yes, deer belongs to viviparous animal. Reason number 1, it gives birth to young ones. The second reason, pinna is present or external ears are present. Now third reason, hairs are covering the body. So deer belongs to viviparous animal. Same like that, the another question. The bird, look at this beautiful bird. This bird belongs to oviparous animal. Can you give the reasons? Yes, your reasons should be bird belongs to oviparous animal because it lay eggs. Reason number 2, no pinna is present. Okay, or no external ear. Then the third reason, the body is covered by feather. Look at this polar bear. It lives in cold places. Can you guess this polar bear belong to oviparous or viviparous? It is viviparous because it gives birth to young ones. And external ears are present. Look at this pinna. Pinna are present. Now the body is covered by hair. Now can you tell what are the uses of hairs of these animals? Is any purpose of this hair? It lives in the cold places. It cannot live here. What will be the use of this hair? This hair keep them warm. Okay, that's why they can live in the cold places. The hairs are keeping them warm. Not only that, these hairs are protecting them from sunlight. Look at this hedgehog. It is one of the viviparous animal. It gives birth to young ones. And the second reason, it has external ears. And the third reason, body is covered by hair. Look at the back side of its body. That hairs are modified into spines, sharp spines. What is the use of these spines? To protect them from enemies. So enemies will not normally come and attack this hedgehog because of these sharp spines. Hair modification. In which animal are the hairs modified into spines? Hedgehog. What is the use of spines? To protect themselves from enemies. Can you see any similarities among these animals? Yes, they all have horns on their head. See this rhinoceros? How are the horns useful to this animal? To protect themselves from enemies. How many horns does a rhinoceros have? There are 2 horns. How many horns does a cow have? 2 horns. You can see that all horns are the development of hairs of their head. Hairs modified to form horns on their head. These horns are useful for protection from enemies. Some animals have horns. Can you name such animals? You can write examples of animals which are having horns. And how are they helpful to these animals? How are the horns are helpful to these animals? To protect themselves from enemies. Then how many horns does a cow have? You can write the answer here. How many horns does a cow have? Cow have 2 horns. Next, can you identify the picture? Which animal is this? You can write the name here. How many horns do they have? You can write the name of the animal rhinoceros and it has 2 horns. Where do they live in India? Commonly, these rhinoceros are seen in the valleys of Himalayas. So you can write this answer there, valleys of Himalayas. What about deers? Deers can be seen in several national parks in India. Do you have seen these type of hairs in any animal? These hairs are called whiskers. These whiskers are one of the sense organ of some of the animals. These whiskers will help them to understand whether any animal is coming near to them or not. So these hairs are helping them to sense the movement of other animals. Name some animals having whiskers. Look at these animals. All of them have whiskers. So you can write these animals as an example in your textbook. If you know more than this, you can include that examples also. There is another question. Do you know what the uses of whiskers are? See, these animals are using whiskers for different purpose. For example, seal. Seal use their whiskers to sense the vibration of a fish moving in the water. You know that seal is a water animal. So when it is in the water, these whiskers are helping to understand the movement of fishes in the water. And cat. Cat use their whiskers to catch other animals for their food. Next is dog. Dog use their whiskers to find the movement of other animals. Squirrel. Squirrel also using the whiskers for another purpose, to escape from enemies. So you can write one answer here. You have only one line for writing that answer. You can write whiskers are used to sense the movement of other organism. Have you seen whiskers of cats? If you have seen, you can write yes. Are they modified hairs? Yes. You can write yes. Whiskers are the modified hairs. Name some animals having whiskers. You can write the animals which are having whiskers here. Next question. Do you know what are the uses of whiskers are? There are different uses, but the main thing is to sense the movement of other animals, to understanding the movement of other animals. The hairs of animals help them to protect themselves in one way or another. What is the protection for the egg-laying animals who have no hairs? Feathers in birds. Feathers are the protection in birds. The second one, scales in fishes, snakes, etc. Scales are covering the body of fishes and snakes. Now third point, exoskeleton in grasshopper, cockroaches, crabs, etc. Look at the body of fishes. What is their covering called? Scales. What about snakes? Scales are the covering the body of snakes also. Observe their head and body. Can you see the arrangement of scales under the body? You can see the scales are arranged one by one. So that type of arrangement is called parallel arrangement. So they are parallel. Snakes moving using these scales. You know that scales are touching the ground and it's a reptile, so it is moving with the help of scales. Observe the body of crocodile. The scales that cover most of the body of crocodile, but the scales are little harder. Have you looked at the body of cockroach? You may have seen, so you can write it yes. How is its outer covering? It will be little hard. What about crab and prawn? Harder. It will be harder than the cockroach. Have you observed other insects? You may have seen many insects, so you can write yes. Then what do you mean by exoskeleton? Exoskeleton are the outer covering of these animals. Example, cockroach, crab, prawn, insects. Most of the insects are having the outer covering called exoskeleton.